You can move it around too. Just fuck with it. They're not the best, so.
I don't want to touch it too much.
But yeah, you'll be able to see a difference in your voice.
I sound more like a crack whore.
You do not sound like a crack whore. Oh my god, our country's in big trouble if you're a crack whore. Lilla Tamas?
S. Samson.
S. Samson. Yeah, Corinne burst a bubble and immediately called me Steven, because Corinne's episode 10, who I just did before, and we grew up in Enfield together. So she's part of like a very little small group that know me first and foremost as Steven.
Yeah, only Samson.
Mm-hmm.
Samson.
Yeah, you had a powerful name too. They say people will grow into their names, right? So if you're a mom and dad, that's why you see some people sometimes and you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe your parents fucking named you that.
Apple.
Like, Apple.
Blue.
Blue, I don't think is too bad. It just always implies sad.
But Apple?
Well, I'm feeling Johnny Appleseed's purpose. Yeah, Apple was a thing before caffeine and coffee.
But how about avocado?
But avocado. So, where are you living now?
I'm a citizen of the world. I'm in the sky more than I am on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But my base is in Barcelona.
In Barcelona. And have you deviated a lot from... So, can you set the scene for everybody? Because your life is not like the regular life of most people.
Definitely not.
Mm-mm.
Well...
Where are you from?
I'm originally Hungarian, but I'm first-generation American. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and I grew up next to Boston in, like, Sturbridge, and then moved to Worcester, then Paris when I was 15 to do my junior year of high school at a completely French high school, not knowing French.
So at 15 you left America?
Yeah.
First time you left? Or you had
first time I proper moved away.
Moved away.
Yeah, and then learned French fluently, went back to the States, finished high school SATs, then went back again to Paris for 4 years to the American University of Paris, and then I went to Barcelona to do my MBA in entrepreneurship, and I've been there, but like traveling every week or to a different country.
And did you finish the entrepreneurship thing?
Yeah, in a year.
In
MBA,
a year?
Super like...
That's
yeah.
MBA?
MBA, yeah.
Word. Okay.
So
and what's your bachelor's from?
Major in communications, minor in business.
So, it seems like you're on the right track, because what are you doing right now?
I'm the head of the Startup Campus V4 Global Tour, which unites and helps boost the discoverability of the V4 startup ecosystem, which means Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, and Czech Republic.
So, ecosystems of those places.
Yeah, startup ecosystems, innovation ecosystems.
So this is a lot of like sustainability, like...
As well. It's a big umbrella that like encompasses all that has to do with technological innovation, medicine, biotech, fintech, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, all that stuff. Yeah, anything that involves innovation, becoming more efficient, and
so you got
startups.
some homies. You have some homies that are trying to change the world, homies. Excuse me 1 sec, because I'm going to shut this fucking AC off because it's driving me nuts in the background. Okay.
That's better. Okay,
Right?
I'm ready.
It was, yeah, so that was going to fuck it all up. I was like, let me get this out of my head. Okay. So, how do they choose which ones are a part of V4?
V4 is the Visegrad 4. Those countries.
The
Poland, Visegrad 4 or Visegrad 4. They formed like an alliance. Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and Hungary. So we're pretty much trying to collaborate in order to boost, like, to get our region more known worldwide.
And how many languages of the ones in the V4 do you speak?
Well, actually, only Hungarian. But
Only Hungarian?
I speak some more that come in.
How many?
And
4?
4. Hungarian, French, Spanish, and English. Depends on the day.
So does it help you when you're dealing with, even if it's not in that language, I gotta assume being that worldly when you're talking to other people that are trying to be sustainable in their own like world, they're in a different culture world, right? In America, it's different if you divide it up by like 5 different pieces, but otherwise it's pretty similar. Over there, like we were talking about before the podcast, like even the language is changing within small amounts of people.
Yeah, well, knowing languages definitely helps in general, because even if I don't actually know what language you're speaking, there's some words that relate to what I've heard before, and I can sort of
piece it together.
The puzzle pieces together. And also, lots of people are multilingual, multicultural in the whole world of startups and technology and innovation. And so it's nice to be able to switch and jump between languages just in one conversation.
It's definitely badass. Yeah. I mean, like in business school, you just immediately see dollar signs. Like, you're going to get paid more money because you know different languages.
Yeah, I had an identity crisis for a while, and I couldn't really get my bearings on where am I from, where do I belong, what language should I be speaking, and like where should I settle down? And now I've just decided,
doesn't matter.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna be a citizen of the world.
The fuck it's the best one.
Yeah, that's definitely. I'm very good at swearing. That's not very ladylike. My family gives me a lot of crap for that, but you know what? It's great because people remember me.
Yeah.
They don't forget.
So in the first episode, I swore a lot. And then even, like, my mom watches all the episodes. So then we talked about it. And in the second, the beautiful thing about this art is that in the second, I got to talk with my boy Jared about how, for anybody listening, however you perceive everything I'm doing or everything that Lilla's doing, it is in the context of my fucking living room between old friends. Right? Like, this is not, it's if you're going to go ahead and creep in on what we're doing, then you got to understand, like, this is our time, right? This is how we talk to each other. This is whatever, right? And that realness will shine through to everybody watching, because they're just going to know they're not fronting, right? If there's anything you could ever say about the Enlightened Entourage, is that they're going to keep it real as fuck. Now, if you have a loose filter, maybe pull back a little bit on certain subjects. Give yourself a couple of subjects that you'd worried about. But otherwise, it's just Lilla and Samson catching up.
Yeah, I know.
So what are your favorite of the startups?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't have a favorite per se, but I really admire the ones who work with graphene or have been developing. Well, I believe it's the substance that, if I'm not mistaken, which creates the more flexible. See, I'm in the world of startups, and now I'm confused. But whatever.
So it's like
more
biotech, like carbon fiber compared to
it's new software.
It's software.
I need to do my research again, because I've been pretty confused on a lot of subjects there.
So what else are they about then?
Lots of medicine that has to do with like vascular surgery, which is the veins, and I mean, the most interesting one recently was like this concrete wall that could play amazing sound, amazing bass. Really, like, that was like just exceptional, seeing the kind of technology, and also being able to use your phone and to project this like image that you no longer need any light switches in your home. Mm-hmm. You no longer need any like cables and stuff.
Because it's 3-dimensional.
Yeah, and you just.
That's what everything will be soon.
It's like Black Mirror.
Yeah.
That's what I'm noticing more and more.
Dude, even my dad's like, it's weird, because I called the contacts thing. As the contacts will be the first form. Social media will one day get to a point where if Lilla's got those contacts in, and so does Samson, they could decide what status that they would share above their head for anybody else that's on the same network. Tell them what they're listening to, anything like that. Bump business cards, it'll all be there. It'll be mayhem walking down like shitty street. It'll just be filled with that, like water in the clubs, it raining. Just they'll do crazy shit on the inside. So design is the next, like, that wave for freelance artists is a good look.
I would also like to see like iPad-like things on our foreheads to like be able to actually communicate properly. Like,
What do you mean?
When you misinterpret people, people are constantly misinterpreting me because of my tone of voice or something, and then you hurt people's feelings because you didn't say it the way that, and like you communicate. You might be a good communicator, but the way that it's interpreted in people's minds is completely different than the way that you may have originally set out for it to mean to that person. So I used to think about like iPads stuck on our heads, like connected to our brains, so that you could actually picture like our thoughts.
Yeah, or at least the emotional sense of the thought.
Yeah.
Isn't there a Black Mirror episode with the doctor?
I only saw that afterwards.
Oh, well, but yeah, still, that would make the most sense, where you'd actually be able to see what someone is thinking. Talk about like a whole different, we don't have privacy anymore once they integrate that into the system.
Yeah.
But until then, we all got to get better with like talking to each other. So I always found that as long as I know, like, it's when I'm not being a good person that like I'd regret something that I say. Otherwise, like, I don't. That's on them. Right? Like if I'm being 100% a good person, and if I'm taking the feedback that goes, maybe I should have done it slightly differently this way next time, if I'm taking that, they're going to know I'm taking it. And like, that's it. But I can't feel bad about how they feel anymore. Same deal with how I live my life. Like,
yeah,
the whole, like, I don't want to take advice from you unless you're living your life the way I ultimately want to live, like down the line. Otherwise, putting ourselves between a rock and a hard place of like actually talking about one thing. Everyone gets it twisted. It's like, are you talking about real life, or are you talking about... Yeah, I'm a sensitive motherfucker too. Are
you sensitive to people talking about you when you're not there, and you thinking that it's people talking behind your back?
No. It I guess it would depend on who the people are. Right? If it had to do with a love interest, yup. If it didn't, then I'm very good with like swiping and dodging it. I'm getting better at like the love interest one, but either way, like, because to me, and I've always been like this, if you can't say it to my fucking face, then you're really just less than. Yeah.
I feel like I've been doing this only recently realizing that I have a tendency of talking about people when they're not there, but I don't necessarily mean it like in a bad way. I'm just talking about that person. Yeah. And I'm realizing now, if that person's not there, or if that person would probably feel offended or whatever by something I say, just refrain from saying it.
Well,
but
the second part.
Stop talking.
Exactly. So it's cool because you keep yourself in check and like accountable, because then, all right. So a moment comes up. You're talking about someone that is not there. Okay, pretend they're there, and you'll watch how the way that your presentation changes. But it doesn't mean that you don't need to talk about them. It just is presented in a way like if you made the disclaimer. I would be real with them and tell them exactly how I feel right now. Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones that it's okay to let it out.
Yeah, there's some people I don't want to hurt their feelings on.
For sure, but it's impossible. This fucking life is already so goddamn comfortable. Up until how long ago was everything that we did, hunting, trying to find a way to live, trying to interact with people as a community because we grow all the same food in the same place together and we're all going to eat the same crop. Like, that's how we evolved. And then now it's like not really, it's not there.
Now we go to Whole Foods. Which, by the way,
are you a vegetarian?
No, I just really like avocado. I could live off of that.
Avocado toast has become a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Avocado all day, every day.
Healthy fat. I even use avocado oil now.
My hair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When my hair was longer than your hair, I use something all natural sometime. It was this green tea something, right? And I've used an avocado one and a coconut one. But I used a green tea one first. And I was just like, what the fuck have I been putting in my hair for the past since I grew up, because this shit, cause for everyone listening, my hair was past my nipple line, so like I had very long hair, and it's like thick hair. So like you wash your hair, don't ignore it, guys. Like any guy that understands, like I said, if you have hair, then you're gonna understand whether or not something you're using for it is healthy or unhealthy. Like it's just gonna feel different. And this shit was just like, I was, what the fuck are they putting? And my grandmother's been a part of this survey of females that they've done over generations, and they just get a survey every month or quarterly, a year, and they ask them certain questions. But my grandmother broke it down for me, and she was saying how they pay a particularly close amount of attention to the things that you put on your skin, like that you wash your body with and things like that over time. They have been paying attention to that. So imagine the shit, even what's in deodorant, right? Because normal deodorant is...
None of that works for me. I don't know. Maybe I just need some Botox or something. But
what?
If you can share any deodorant tips, that'd be awesome.
Well, I have to use the bad company shit.
What?
Like Degree would be bad company shit deodorant. But like not bad company shit is the all natural shit. And as far as I'm concerned, that shit don't work. It's fucking with my other, how I'm trying to smell, you know?
Gotta get some Botox up in there.
Yeah. And then Sebastian Maniscalco, he's a comedian, an Italian comedian. He came to the Wilbur and he was like talking about that exact problem and sweating too much and how he gets it done inside of his armpits. But then, like, the sweat just dips to his ass crack.
Yeah, I wanted to say it to your lower back or something. Apparently, it comes out some other way.
It's gonna have to. Another heat center. So feet, hands, and I never want to be the motherfucker with clammy hands. Ooh. I'm like, I don't have clammy hands ever.
No, mine are really dry and man like, yeah. Masculine. like CrossFit hands, pretty much. But anyway,
CrossFit hands. You had to set the scene with him to tell him CrossFit hands. All right, CrossFit hands. Basically, that means that the callus exists even after you take a shower, because if you have bodybuilder hands, then when you take a shower, that shit turns white and you scrape them the fuck off.
Ugh, yeah. Yeah.
I chilled on that. I'm more like ninja-like now.
Well, get a good exfoliator, I suppose.
Yeah, I do. I have some Lush products. I've become a Lush fan.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so lush.
It's very lush. It's all natural. That's the only vibe. So when I pick something, if it's for health and beauty, and any guy would think that that's stupid, all I'm saying is that the same shit you got to use for everything else, I'm just picking in the all healthy way.
Yeah. I got a good balance though, between the healthy and the unhealthy.
So, Lilla, how is balance for you as a Libra?
Well, I feel that I'm constantly searching for that equilibrium. However, with scoliosis, which means my back is in an S, I'm pretty much always eternally imbalanced and gotta keep working on correcting that with the core strength and whatnot and stretches. But emotionally, physically, mentally, all of that, I keep bouncing between two extremes. So it's not easy, but I'm a Libra that was really searching for that center point, and I'm going to continue. I'm not in search of happiness. I found that. I'm finding it, or it's finding me. I'm searching for balance in order to reduce my stress and be able to just be the best version of myself.
Which has a lot to do with happiness.
Yep. I think those might go hand in hand, that's for sure. But I think what goes more hand in hand with happiness is how you feel about yourself, how much self-love and appreciation and self-respect you feel. That's more important than the whole balance thing.
Agreed. Because, I mean, have you ever seen the movie Revolver?
No.
That quote we were talking about before, which everyone already knows, I say it over and over, which is the first two-step to enlightenment is understanding that you are not the voice in your head. You're the one that listens to it, which apparently for you is a Sagittarius. And then you're hanging out with another one. And then your rising side is a Gemini, which would be that like So I find myself having a hard time tossing ego sometimes, only in certain ways. So let me explain. So like I like wearing some materialistic things, but it's because I like them, right? So if I'm wearing a suit, it's only because like I got that motherfucker fitted by an Italian. It's like I feel like it could go with like the shoe set and the watch set that I have that could go with the belts. You know what I mean? Like I like that kind of stuff. So then you're dipping and weaving in between everything else in life, and you're trying to find balance, which means you need to zero in on a certain amount of that stuff that is like attainable to redo every day, right? Like, because if you can make your day have like bookends or timers or whatever,
Yeah.
right, then everything else, like when you're working on it, when you're doing something, kind of fulfills itself. But the moment your head starts talking about what you should be doing, I mean, that's
usually what clouds my judgment or pollutes makes me stressed. I'm constantly thinking that, going back to the power of now, I'm realizing the power of now. Like, you need to not think about the past or the future, but really enjoy the now. But like,
yeah, and I took some
so
time
damn
before you got here to like step you away from where you're at with work.
Yeah, and I felt
Seriously.
much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it needs to happen, right? Because otherwise there is no power of now. People are funny about their momentums, which is why it's always easier to keep arguing. You know, if like you're fighting with someone, so much easier to even apologize for shit that you didn't do, just to know that it's getting you past that's still going in the past and we're going this way. Like it can be difficult to do, but when you do it, then Lilla shows up.
And you're letting go of your ego, which is so nice.
Yeah, it's all about letting go.
Keep it, yeah. Oh, that's hard.
It is.
That's so hard.
It's very hard.
However, when you hold sand in the palm of your hand, just let it chill. It stays there, comfy, not falling out. But when you try to control it and you grasp it and you you clench your fist, then all the sand pours out. So that again, which can be applied to relationships or your life or anything really. The more you try to control, the more you like stress about something, the less it goes the way that you really want.
Yeah. There's this podcast between Joe Rogan and who's the motherfucker that does Cosmos on Netflix?
Oh, I don't know his name.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm probably saying it wrong. Either way, he talks about this. There's some rule in physics. I'll find it. I'll throw it in the timetable of content so I correct it. But it's basically how if you dropped a quarter and you're in the back seat of a car and it falls like right in between the two seats, have you ever noticed that just the act of going to get the quarter sometimes will make it fall farther, right? Like even if it's just a minute difference, even if it's just a little bit of sand that's like you're trying to squeeze out of your hand, it does make a difference. And then it's about how do I chill myself on the squeezing all the fucking time, because even though I gave blood the first time, almost like I lean into shit. That's why I knew I needed to get out of the office, because I get into everything I do. So if what I'm getting into is a screen and a cast for the way I'm supposed to be standing, then I don't know. That's not good.
That's so true. Well, I'm like I'm thinking about my own life and like how I can like chill out a little bit more and have more balance. This is all a very, now that I'm looking at the infinity like, paint mark of the Tourage logo. Yeah, it's all connected. Everything's connected. Everything comes back and like everything's related, especially what you're saying. And yeah, this is good. I like this.
This is real good. See, and what was great about so Corinne, my friend that was just on, is that we got into the logo part, which goes that circle. I want to say it's a Genzo circle. I hope I'm not fucking that up. I really
we can correct that
be.
Too, just like the graphene
but then they're here
before.
anyway, and they see me fucking it up. But all right, so put your hand up with me. So if you were if your finger was like a brush, and you were to just make a circle, do it. Okay, so that action in that moment, that moment is a moment of you being present and creating, because you're making a circle, so you're creating something, and whether that's a paintbrush or even just a motion, and then being present, because if you're not present, you're not going to make a good circle. It's like trying to tie your shoes when you're flustered, even though you should know how to fucking tie your shoes, right? So then that becomes how people heal themselves in like what on their day to day. And I like have funny shit where like washing the dishes. My time right now is washing the dishes, right? My time right now is washing my hair, is brushing my teeth. You catch your mind going like all across the things, which is why I'm telling you that timer thing when you're doing work.
Yeah.
All right, because it's a way to kind of institutionalize not jumping all over the place. Like, I'll yell at myself in the shower like, motherfucker, wash your hair. You should just be washing your hair right now. And then I go back, I just be present. And the funny thing about the brain, like in regards to neurology, is that when you put something in it, a good idea, a memory or whatever, it's always in there. Maybe you won't be able to trigger it immediately when it's being brought up, but frame it the right way and it will. So, for example, I did this cognitive neurology test, which I wasted all this fucking money, but it was cool, interesting to see them do it.
You paid for it? Well, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Gotta support them too.
The same doctor I had that was prescribing me Adderall and before I got off benzos, when I first came back to like my job here, first started working in Boston again, that same doctor had recommended it. Like, I pick up more than most people, so I'm glad I did it because I got to learn a lot. But basically what I did was pay $1,300 with good insurance to take this test. And guess what they recommended? Here's a little fucking list of a few things, which are meditation places, whatever. Shit, I could do in or either I'm going to need to pay more to go and do it, or I could do in my own place, like alone. And I paid $1,300. Like, I told this woman everything that she thought she knew about me. And then, like, as soon as we started understanding that I knew what the fuck I was talking about, then it became a very healthy conversation of, you know, at the end of the day, how I lost $1,300. But they did this one cool test. So the test was, they give you 18 words, and I think it's 18. Can't remember. Cognitive shit. And out of the 18, then they're going to tell you once and then say, Lilla, okay, repeat them back to me, as many as you could remember. You're going to go through it. They're going to write down a number. Then they're going to tell you the 18 again, and then they're going to go back, and you're going to do it. And you will improve, right? And then they're going to tell you them again, you do it again. And the third time should be a time that you improved the most. Like, I think I was at like 16 by the third, I remember, or maybe it was less than that. Maybe it was 12 or 13, because then they would go, okay, I'm going to now, without telling you again, how many of the words were pieces of furniture? And then all of a sudden you remember cabinet, which you for some reason didn't remember before, or which one were animals or which one was whatever. And then you get it. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you, and they give you another category, or they'll say, now I'm just going to tell you a word, and you say yes or no, whether or not it was in there, and you'll get all 18. You'll know that which one was said and wasn't said. So it's all up in there in your brain. And I have a hard time with pulling back the reins on the, maybe that means I need to write it down right now, or I need to do this right now, like something right now. You don't need to do it right now. Like, it'll float back up in the right time. Just be strategic about like your day type of.
Yeah, but I love making lists and like checking them off and feeling so productive by myself.
But I do that for sure.
But did that cognitive study have to do with neuro-language reprogramming or whatever?
I've done that.
Yeah.
So hang on. I think it's eye movement desensitization reprogramming processing, EMDR. Is that it?
Wow.
EDMR?
No, this was NLP.
NLP.
Or neuro-language programming or reprogramming. Yeah, programming. NLP.
So yeah, maybe it was
when
different.
you say something like, I don't know, like something that's positive or negative, it completely takes your sentence or your meaning down a different path. That like, yeah. But the whole cognitive studies are just they're super interesting.
So would thinking positive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So then thinking positive would be, and even just saying, hey, I need to chill right now. Because right now I'm with Samson, we're doing this podcast, and I got all this work to do, but I'm going to do it later. Like, I need to chill right now. Just saying that to yourself is like this little affirmation you get to throw into your own game there. And those are the life hacks, right? I'm all about life hacks.
That's what it is, life hacks.
If you like psychology, right, then it's pretty by the book, like if then, right? Like certain things. Is that the test group, the control group? Are you doing a double-blind study? Are you repeating the same emotions, landscape, and everything else that they went through before in order to really, like, because you could cure phobias very easily. First time, you could cure them. You just need to implement the right...
like spiders?
The scene needs to be set the right way. Right, yeah. I don't even like spiders. They're cool. I look at them. I'd probably let a tarantula crawl on me, but...
I think that might cure my phobia.
It would?
Holding one.
So what, is that arachnophobia?
Yeah. Ooh, you got that one right.
Why do you have it? Because I know why I don't like spiders. There wasn't a time when you were a kid? Nothing stuck in your memory, Lilla, that was like a fucking...
No, there was just a lot of my brother always trying to put spiders on me or something, or like find a way to freak me out, and then having our dog eat the spiders. Perhaps that stuck in my brain.
Cycle of life.
Yeah. Again, the circle.
Yep.
Infinity.
Just a little bit more. I don't know. Humans, the way that we look at everything is like it's too much. Yeah, like a few lifetimes ago, it wasn't too much. Like you needed to fucking slit that chicken's throat, to plant that seed. Like, we just don't do that anymore. Soon we won't even need to wipe our own ass.
Oh.
Okay, Europe solved that shit a while ago.
You don't need to do that. And
yeah, in America you might. What's called the bidet?
Yeah. In fact, I have 2 of them.
You have 2 of them?
And I used to be like, ew, what is this? But it's a shower for your private parts. And it's much, much more hygienic.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm in the shower, I definitely do a correct posture, bend over, and let's go. Let's make sure that shit gets cleared out. There's a reason why an entire country's been loving it. Just like there's a reason why America poops differently than the rest of the fucking world. Is it like that in Europe too?
In Asia, you have a lot of the squad, which is actually much better for you.
Way better.
In
where your sphincter is and shit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My parents are doctors. My whole family's doctors, but I haven't really gone in that deep. But yeah. No.
Oh, I got you. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should get in that deep. Get a squatty potty and get in that deep.
I prefer bidet.
Bidet. Yeah, I'd probably prefer that too.
#no filter.
#no filter. Since I've changed my diet to only eating organic cuts of meat and vegetables every single day, I have one cheat day. My shits are so much better.
That's good.
My bowel movements are just
are they more regular? Not your bowel movements, but your meals.
Yeah, but that's not why. Even before, my meals would be regular, but if they had the wrong shit in them, then it could be a difficult poop. It's not a difficult poop anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, you could change your life.
1 poop at a time.
1 poop at a time. Yo, Nick and I were just talking. What a weird thing to be talking about, though.
Oh, no, this comes up in conversation all the time.
I feel like I just am properly learning how to fucking breathe. I know that sounds stupid as shit, but how to breathe, how to sit, how my posture should be. And okay, so now if you need to improve your life on a day-to-day, all the time with your own posture, like how you're sitting, well, what's an easy life hack to stand better? Well, if you always have good posture while you piss or shit, then that pissing and shitting you do every single day. So you would psychologically tie it to everything and anything that you do every day, because it'd be a moment that would be touching something else that you do on a day-to-day. And you already need to do it all the time. So if you assume correct position, like to piss or to shit, well, that'll just play itself out naturally in the rest of the way that you live your life.
Well, first of all, women only poop butterflies. And second, you can also just put books under your arms like they do in etiquette school.
Yeah, but then what are you going to do with the books after you poop or pee?
Oh, you can wipe your butt with the pages.
You could do that, but where are you going to put them? Because if they don't have a shelf, then there's piss splatter that's going to get on those books. This is why the Squatty Potty is better. Because
Squatty Potty.
Squatty Potty. Dude, 2/3 of the world shits differently than America. What? Okay.
I never thought about this, but you are totally right.
Yeah, well, because the Squatty Potty people go on Shark Tank. Right, I'll post the link to their episode. But they have like all this science about like the ash sphincter muscle and shit like that, and just how your like bowels are aligned at that time. It's just, that's how we've always been doing. I mean, think about when you're just like a stupid little human, you're walking around like, oh, I need to shit. Where you gonna like pose the air like perfectly like this? No, you're gonna fucking lean down, let it rip. But I still think that shitting into a hole in the middle of the room would be.
I mean, it was pretty interesting seeing that. But I was in a skyscraper, like one of the times I was like up in like on the 30th, 40th floor of a skyscraper. And I'm like, well, I guess this is the easiest way to just.
So you shit like that?
I didn't shit because again,
butterflies came out that way.
No, but I peed. And butterflies were still in the air. From somebody else.
So you peed that way?
Yes.
But so does every girl that's ever gotten drunk at college and been out.
I suppose.
Right?
Especially with the high heels.
At UMass, I'd be in the woods. There'd be times you're like, you're so far gone, and a game's going on or something like that, and you're just like, if someone sees my dick, like, fuck it, at this point, I just need to piss. And so is everyone else in the woods, and they're all squatting.
I have
sexual harassment case waiting to happen.
I have such a good innovation startup for that.
Is it really one? Is it one of the startups?
I got a SheWee. No, it's not one of my startups, but SheWee. It allows you to pee standing up if you're a girl, and it's washable. Fuck? Yeah, it's like a little
in the shower.
Spout. No, anywhere.
So
anywhere.
When girls have different like pee like streams, can't that get dangerous?
Well, you gotta sort of kind of know how to hold it back, so it's not like overflowing.
So books cannot be on the ground.
Books cannot be in the vicinity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I was thinking about a business idea back in the day when I was a festival abuser. But
when was that, Lil?
I don't know. It turned from a festival attendee to working at festivals. So then I don't even know what happened anymore. I didn't even go to festivals anymore. So how about diapers? I sell diapers that have cool little designs on it, whatever. That I don't know. My friends and I would color some diapers in, but diapers, $5 or whatever, 5 to 10, maybe. Well, some people are pretty desperate to go to the bathroom, but the slogan would be never miss a drop. Never miss the drop, sorry. Because you'd be at a festival and you really want to hear that drop and you really don't want to, like,
you
Odessa's
like music
on
more
or
than everybody
and
else.
You do not want to go to the bathroom and the lines are ridiculously long.
I don't think so. I don't think it's selling until mental.
Never miss the drop.
No.
Okay,
Unless you're in a fucking K-hole and you want to make sure you don't just like shit your pants.
In a porta potty.
Yeah, or doing ayahuasca, diapers would be good. I promise myself that as I'm going in July, I promise myself. Yeah.
Where?
The biggest mistake I made last night was not pissing myself. Should just piss myself.
Yeah, apparently
it came
that's
back down to letting go, right? Because I was thinking about I need to pee. When am I going to get up? When am I going to do this? I was so detached
and being
from
judged? Were you worried about
100%, yeah. And that's been a lot of the growth since I went there last. That's why Al and I are going back, because the judging part, I've like really done a good job of like ducking. I stopped caring.
Never done ayahuasca, but DMT and is very nice in vape form.
What happened to you?
And no peeing or no purging experience whatsoever.
Just on DMT though.
Self-love, self-appreciation, self-acceptance. The very first time that I hugged myself and told myself I love myself was, when I opened that too. Opened those doors in my brain, pretty much. Yeah, it's.
What'd you see?
Lots of fractal, psychogeometrical patterns and a bit of communication with aliens on occasion, especially when in a hot air balloon ride over Africa in Morocco. That was it.
And you did DMT.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not getting into a fucking hot air balloon. Second of all, you got into a hot air balloon and did DMT above Africa? Are you fucking kidding me?
That was the most amazing experience, most intense experience in my life.
Yeah,
I had to hold on for dear life because the whole basket disappeared.
The whole basket. You're in a basket. First of all,
if
you're
I had
not in a
let go, I
compartment.
should have let go. Again, it's all about letting go.
It is.
If I had let go, I would have fully experienced that, and I would have been flying and free. But I was so nervous about actually like, whoa, this is the most intense trip of my life. And I was holding on to the railing, but even that was my last little bit of reality. And then I was like, why am I freaking out? I know this is just 5 minutes. Breathe.
And I'm hundreds of feet above the earth. Thousands.
I don't mind. I'm most calm when I'm up really, really high in the sky. That's when I'm not shaking at all. Right before I jumped out of the plane doing a tandem jump, that was when I was super calm. And I was just like in my element.
Me too.
They had never seen anybody so like calm and collected and like ready for action.
Me too. It was something to do with, all right, so on the way up, because the plane goes to get higher and higher and higher, they do V's back and forth. On the way up, at the time, I think I was 19 or 20, or no, 19 or 20. And there's this 27-year-old across from me, and I remember seeing him so nervous, like hands, like he was a clammy hand, and like for sure, hands. Yeah, he was going, and I remember just telling him like a savage, like, hey, if fucking anything goes wrong, you're not gonna feel it. Like, you need to enjoy the shit. And I like loved putting my knees down and like hovering over all of it, like. I love jumping in. I think that I think you're also someone that, like, did you
I backflipped.
You backflip?
Yeah.
That's badass. Do you jump into cold water or do you go little by little?
Oh, that depends on the day and my mood.
Yeah.
Really?
It's all about balance.
I think little by little. I don't think although I like my extremes. That, yeah.
Little by little?
Little by little. Little baby toe.
Do you see it like work itself into the way that like your work is? Because I think like people that are jumping motherfuckers versus little by little, they have different lessons to learn and how to manage their time in their day to day. There's different ways you need to implement a calendar. It won't work for the same person. The jump in person. Especially.
I'm more of an impulsive individual, but now I'm learning how to hold myself back a little bit and realizing that like it's not necessary that being impulsive doesn't mean quality. And also it's quality, not quantity. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those things, the cliche sayings, they really hold true.
They do. They really do. And like you'll live the cliche sayings, even if you just had 5 good ones that stuck with you. I mean, if they're good ones and they have to do with principle and moral, they'll change your life on a day-to-day like nothing else will.
Do you have any life-changing quotes to share with me? I'm all ears.
I mean, I've been writing down quotes for a long time. So whatever I'm about to say is just going to be like freestyling off the top of the dome. But Muhammad told me a dope one on episode 1. If you're going through hell, keep going. I also, the whole like first true step to enlightenment, understanding you're not the voice in your head. You're the one that listens to it. Obviously, you can't control the way that other people feel about you, but you can control the way that like you feel about them, and etc. Be the change that you want to see. I am what time and circumstance has made me. You need to fuck around in the general before things get specific.
I really like that one. I've definitely been fucking around in the general.
Well, you need to before it becomes specific, but it's just if you don't have like a good headspace on what you want to be making specific, then it's just like not managing your time. Like those several hours could have been for this, but it's for this, and I don't really know what this should be for. So that's what makes it hard.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling that. Also, try before you buy. That's my brother's motto.
I like that motto.
Yeah. He's been trying a lot, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's been returning a lot, too.
Really?
Buying and returning.
Really? Yeah, he's a G.
Yeah.
Good for him. And what did you say he does again now?
He's the Director of Innovations of Hungary. So the whole country's
that's fucking
startups,
crazy.
everything. Works for the Hungarian National Trading House's InnoTrade program, which focuses purely on startups and technological innovation.
So what are some of your other favorites?
With the startups,
You got to work with them.
yeah, to be honest with you, I don't. One that I really did stand out, but was at a very early stage, and like I felt like they needed a little bit more work. Well, we're all learning really, but there was a really cool one that like addressed the need for people being able to see Airbnb or like apartments for rent, to sort of do like a Tinder for apartment hunting, which was cool, like a swiping method. But
And
that's
then
not
communicate after.
like build a community and be able to like to choose your best flatmate or roommate, whatever. But that wasn't the thing that caught my attention. What was like the fact that they incorporated virtual reality into the whole apartment search. And I just went through 2 months of like constantly searching for apartments to buy in Barcelona before I actually found the one. And I visited like 3 a day.
Yeah, that takes
and it was
time.
so much time
Yeah,
next
anyone
to
who's
work
moved knows.
and like energy and everything like that. And I wasn't sure who was trustworthy, who was not, what, I don't know. And then you put this VR like glasses on and you're completely immersed in that actual environment, and it's like, whoa, this is so great. This is pure efficiency and innovation, because you can stay in the comfort of your own home or wherever you are, agency, whatever, and then you can actually go around, and it's like teleporting without moving.
It is
physically. And I thought that was really dope.
Agency would be good to implement first. You probably need another 2 years before you start seeing like thoroughly oiled technology for VR to be on the handheld device. Maybe, but like 2 to 5, something like that. But that's dope. So you picked your apartment through one of those?
I did not. I would have I only recently found out about these guys and in Berlin, which was a couple weeks ago, at the second stop of our tour. But I bought my apartment like a half a year ago or something. Actually, it's been last April. Oh my God,
Time flies. Time
Honestly,
does fly.
How much stress and anxiety time gives me though is just crazy. And the fact that I'm traveling around, jumping around from one time zone to the other. Sometimes I'm traveling back in time, sometimes forward. I'm just like, I don't know what time zone I'm in, and I don't know what age I am either.
Yeah, and then I would assume that some of that Gemini is sending that like need for balance as well is gonna go. Like there's the fuck it, go to the other country on a weekday, Lilla, and the like I need like a repetitive schedule to like do better.
I just went from Istanbul to Costa Rica to Barcelona to Budapest, and I went to the wrong airport in Istanbul. So I stayed one extra night in Turkey, and like that's my life. So going from that to like chilling out is just like, I don't know how long I could chill out. I don't know.
I know what you mean. Like, is there any, well, you just like to travel. It's like if you looked at yourself now, because you're what, 27? Yeah. So up until 40 and 50, like, okay, so on the way to 40 even, you have your entire teenage years to go again. You like, that's an entire life that you kind of look back at now. It's like when up until I was a teenager, that's one life. And then you're going to get another one after that, another one after that. And then like, so you have plenty of time to space them out. And you've already traveled more than most. Like what you understand about the world, you're going to live there forever? Are you going to move?
Barcelona is always going to be my base, but I also have a couple places.
But you know that, like, you know home.
That's definitely the first place I can truly call home, because it's where all like these lost butterflies and souls like just congregate. Everybody's super cosmopolitan like me. Everybody's lived all over the place. Everybody loves to travel, and they're just like.
And the ones you like to keep around you the most, they're all there.
Honestly, I could not imagine my life without all the traveling that I do. So it doesn't matter where on the planet my friends are, as long as I can communicate with them, I suppose on Facebook, and primarily that works. But like, I go out of my way to see people in random parts of the world. Like, I'll go to South Africa or Brazil or whatever. I will go to you, and then they will come to me, or we'll just randomly bump into each other.
And you're Sagittarius moon, right? The traveler, the festival goer, they call it.
Yeah, the gypsy is what they usually call me, or the bag lady. Yeah, that's what I'm known as.
Yeah, you're definitely like a modern day gypsy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and like
a luxury gypsy.
Yeah, someone explained like hipster to me one time, and I was just like, well, I mean, I don't know. Like, what would you call a hipster?
I somebody who's sort of design oriented, or like takes care about their appearance, but in a way that makes it seem like they don't give a shit about it at the same time. So I suppose balance. Oh my God, hipsters have balance potentially. Yeah. Who knows?
But is that supposed to be, see, like, is it projected
like a modern day hippie?
Because it's projected as a bad thing, though.
Because it's overused. Because it's overrated. I don't know. My brother's always calling me a hipster.
Yeah. I mean, well, because when this person was telling me, they were on my sales team that I was managing, and then I had this thought like, well, I guess I'm a hipster. But like, then everyone else that I've ever known to get lumped into hipster category is a fucking loser. I'm like, so there's a difference here, right?
Not judgmental.
Yeah, well, just because I feel like they put hipster in a category that, like, regardless of where and who you are on the planet, it's going to have a certain negative, like, connotation to it. It shouldn't, though, right? Like, if you were just, like, if you were hip to the modern day shit going on, right? And you were peaceful as fuck and enlightened, and you did pay attention to your style, and it looks good, but you, like, at the end of the day, you still, this is what you're saying, right? You don't really need anything, but at the same time, you are going to pay attention to what you wear. So who the fuck wasn't? Everyone knows what you think when you see a car on the side of the road or driving and it's got a big dent in it. You're going to look at that person and go, no wonder why you fucking crash that shit. Or you look at everything that they drive that way. You're going, no wonder why. Like, if you want to have, like, I like getting a car washed. Like, I like having nice clothes. Like, I pick nice shit. I like getting things tailored, right? Like, is that a hipster? Sounds more like rubbing into Renaissance man than anything.
I don't think it's necessary to categorize or compartmentalize whatever, because I think we're pretty free-spirited, and you can't really put us into any one category.
Yeah, that's why my name's Samson, your name's Lilla.
Yeah, the whole versatility, change. The only thing that's constant is change. There's one, my favorite quote is the whole thing. Like the only thing that's constant is change.
Yeah, well, that has made my shittier days better, because on a shit day, like, obviously, throughout your entire lifetime, you're going to have good and bad days. I'm one that thinks that regardless, there's going to be a balance. Like, life will play itself out with a balance of those. So if I'm having a shittier day now, I'm way better at just, like, well, you know, maybe tomorrow, the day after. Like, it's like cold calling. It's not like you get a shit fucking knock on one door that when you go to the next one, you're going to act like a little bitch. Like, oh, you know, this other person didn't open it. No, you need to fucking do your job. You know, carry out you to the next door. And some doors are good and some doors are bad. But the context of society means a lot of, like, feeling bad about it, I feel.
Yeah. The only thing I feel bad about is not being productive enough. So I am going to implement those little techniques, because when you're working freelancer, it's great because you don't have anybody, like, really like forcing you to do anything, and you are your own boss, like an entrepreneur. But sometimes I feel like I need guidance. I feel like I have too much freedom, and then it's not that I'm abusing it, it's just I'm not performing as well as I would be if I were a little bit more controlled. Yeah. It's the whole self-control thing. Like, what if, I don't know, like, populations that were once in a dictatorship or like a more controlling regime, who are all of a sudden just, they have complete freedom from one day to the next. Imagine how difficult that must be to transition. It's like it's too overwhelming. It's easier to be told what to do than to figure
just
out
like it's easier to keep arguing.
Yeah.
But which one are you gonna do? You know, like.
So there you go.
You need to. Everyone needs to. But when you're struggling between that mind state and, I don't know, I just feel like being present will also get you out of that mind state. And
but
that helps.
How on earth do you stop? Like, I cannot control myself. I know I'm not supposed to be talking about like parents, but I cannot control myself when it comes to my parents, especially my mother. There's so many similarities between us two that, like, how do you just let things go when you know that's, like, I just can't seem to let go of my ego. I constantly want to prove that person wrong.
So
Always.
step one would be understanding that. So this is what I would say about blatantly obvious things. Congratulations for shitting out of your ass and pissing out of your dick or your urethra or whatever, right? Like, that is nature. I think when they do, what's it called? When they're trying to get an addict off, what do? They do like a group of people, their mom, dad, brother, sister. Intervention. I think interventions are done wrong because of the same struggle that you're talking about between a person and their parents. To me, your time with your mom getting as open as possible and your time with your dad getting open as possible are also two different things. They should be done together and they should be done differently. But congratulations for pissing out of your ass, or shitting out of your ass and pissing out of your dick, because everybody's like that. First and foremost, you need to be like a little bit more okay with the fact that Lilo did get extra emotional during that time with mom, or did respond like ass like this time with her dad. See, people don't have those relationships with friends even anymore. You remember when you used to grow up and wrestle? Well, maybe this is a boy thing.
Oh no, I was treated as a boy.
Yeah, but even with friends though, like friendships that were close enough to fight, argue, be done the next day, you guys, it's weird how that's not really a thing anymore, where it's almost like people fight and then that's it, and they like, people would rather not say I'm sorry than just be your friend moving forward. And when you're really close with anyone, like like me and Nick, like me and any of my boys, right? We could literally get mad at each other, choke each other the fuck out in like a fight, wrestle, be that comfortable, and then move on. So then you move it into your brother and sister. Okay, they've been with me throughout my entire growth, and I'm more vulnerable when I am with them than like any off the chain with anything else, because I was 4 the first time I shit in front of him, or like, you know, like those personal things. So first things first, like, I have times all the time where I go, I was such a fucking little bitch the way I acted towards my mother, right? And I need to, first, you're never going to get past it if you're just going to dwell on it. So first and foremost, thank God I feel shitty about it, right? Thank God I'm at least recognizing that to like change it over into the first place. Now changing it. Well, first of all, Samson, right? Steven, chill the fuck out, because, right, how the world is a different place. We do things later than our parents' generation did them, and no one's to say that they did them the right way earlier on, you know? So pump the brakes, but all you can do is be aware and try to be better. That is it. And that's why I say, like, oh, if you're doing what you think is the right thing as a person, that's a good way to live. Then you don't need to end up in like a rock and a hard place, because you're always being aware and trying to be better. So
consciousness.
Yeah, because if you go to knock on the next door, and that next door is tomorrow, in the way that I communicate and interact with my mother or father, and you're still sweating the shit door that happened the other day, it's gonna fuck up your time. You know, it won't work. People feel when on the inside you're saying something else. Like, I want to fucking kill you. Or like, oh, like this, I'm having a great time. Or I hope you have a good day. Even if you say that on the inside of your head, people feel it. This is why when you're in a shit mood and you're acting like a little asshole with yourself, everyone else is an asshole. That person's speeding too quick. What are you doing on my ass? Like, you know, who's looking at me like that? Like, they're looking at me the wrong way. It must be something wrong. But when you're feeling good and you're cool with everything,
you let it roll off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the worst with your mom?
What's
Is
the
it your
word?
mom or parents, or kind of the way you're living your life and the struggle in between, like what they think, or?
No, I mean they still view me as a crazy gypsy, that's for sure. But they like the fact that I actually have a proper job that's opening up doors like that are only gonna go in a positive way.
And do you?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm usually feeling great, and right now I'm feeling pretty fucking jet lagged, to be honest with you. It's just
feel you.
the eyes are burning, you know. But I've been feeling good, other than the fact that I just feel guilty for not being more structured and organized, and that's the only thing, really, the routine. I've been traveling so much for the past forever that I feel like I'm just burning out, and it's my own fault, and I recognize that, and now I'm ready to like put some like I have like a strategy in place, and like and improve that, really. And I think that might help my mood and stuff like that, and when it comes to retaliating when my parents want to help me, and I just automatically am like, nah. But they just have a great way of just thinking that they're helping, but they're just not.
Well, do you know what you want?
I don't believe I know what I want, but I know what I don't want.
Yeah, everyone knows
I know what I
want.
want, but it depends on what kind of context we're talking about, because more and more right now I'm like looking towards settling down and building a family.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, cleaning out my dirty baby making oven and preparing that shit for a family.
Yeah.
But once I feel ready, no impulsiveness, no rushing, but that's definitely the direction that I've been heading toward and been focusing on recently. Only recently.
Yeah, it's probably like a nature thing too. Like I naturally, like, I'm not in a rush for kids, but I can't wait to have kids. Right? I can't fucking wait. All these fucking little idiots running around. Like, my kid's not gonna be a fucking little idiot. Maybe he will a few times, but you know, I know I'll spawn good.
Keep the pip
And
hands
waiting on
strong.
Tourage, I'll just pump them out. I'll just be pumping them out. But where I was at, where you were at, is where I also decided I can't be a parent until I become more honest. And first and foremost for me was, I'm not being honest by showing up and doing that job that I was doing, or working in that environment, right? Shit rubs off on me too much. I care too much. Corporate's not the place to care too much in. Like, it's just not. So for me, I needed to first get to 6 figures to learn that it doesn't really all matter. That, like, even when I was a kid and we grew up with money issues, and I was like, if I could just make like 100 G's one day, and then I made over 100 G's, and then it just still didn't fucking make a difference.
Yeah. Binary code.
Yeah. And that's why I do the podcast, right? Because I want to show other people doing other art that, like, helps that kind of, that journey, if you will.
You definitely come a long way.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing the video to show you how to get into my driveway, and because the other one was in the winter. Like, that was a nice little thing to see. Okay, been with something long enough to watch like a season change. Like, that's really it, though. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more to this. So
There's a lot more to that, of course. Yeah. But it's just nice to be home. Oh, and in one of my homes, really.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like,
Yeah, you have a nice house.
well, it's not at all
But
about
it's
the material
comfortable.
stuff. My house is not comfortable.
No?
My house is the least comfortable. It is not. It's a palace that you have to tiptoe around in.
Well,
That's
thick
not-
carpets.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean home as in, like, home is like a feeling.
Yeah.
It's like not like an actual physical place, but like where you can reconnect with people who, even though we
Community.
haven't seen each other in ages, it doesn't feel like it's been like that long, like a couple hours maybe. I don't know. Like, we've changed a lot, but home is just like that, like
Yeah.
comfort, like not trying to put on any face or anything, because I don't care if you're judging me. Fuck it, you already know me.
Yeah. I feel you.
But I just mean home in that way. Like everybody's like, how long has it been since you're back in the States? And it's been a while. Like not this past September, but before that was the very last time that I came. And so much has changed since then.
Yeah.
And then, like, everything's just moving in the right direction.
But you do like it there better, right?
Yeah.
People better?
Yeah, extremely open-minded, like all well-rounded, cultured people, and not too many ignorant people. I feel pretty ignorant in comparison. And I'm also learning to, like, go back to the roots in Hungary. Like, I realized I thought I was crazy, but I am nothing in comparison to the people in Hungary. And I know that I am totally Hungarian because, like, went back to the roots and I now understand. I'm, like, complete again. I'm like, oh, this is why I'm like this. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Don't they have, like, water slides that are just way big? I don't know. My boy Laszlo.
Well, yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sicko. And I'll never forget how in business class they give you an example of how different cultures react when they come to a stop sign, but they could see everything for the eye could see, right? And it's just an intersection. They come to a stop sign. How different cultures in that situation react, right? And Hungarians, I mean, they'll just fucking go right through it,
They do not listen to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here we stop. Yeah. I don't listen either. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like my vocabulary is being limited right now due to the lots of traveling, but I feel very honored to be here in general, which is what I wanted to say.
You've always been part of the Enlightened.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up, but then because I haven't put them in a cup yet, which anyone who watches
put them in a cup.
Yeah. So have you ever heard about the game 36 questions?
Not 36, no.
Okay, so it's this game where apparently anyone, any ethnicity, gender, race, creed, whatever, could sit in front of you, and if you guys actually were to answer 1 through 36 all the way through, that no matter what, by the end of the conversation, you would love the individual in some way, shape, or form in front of you. So I make people pick 2 now. I need to put them in a thing to shake it up and to pick one. But we'll close it out with this. So what is one of the, pick a number between 1 and 36.
8.
8.
Because it's like infinity.
Where's my phone? Dude, oh, there it is. It is like infinity. Just
my faith.
Okay. Hopefully I have this shit in here. But I think everyone gets caught up on love and thinking that it needs to be in some significant other type of form of bullshit. Love is in like everything.
I gave up my whole idea of love and relationships and all of that, and it's when you stop giving a shit and the whole letting go that everything just falls into place.
It is.
So maybe now I can start doing that with more things in my life.
Yeah, you just gotta turn the love faucet back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, without the love faucet, I mean, shit can get grim. Okay, so your partner means me. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common.
The no filter. This constant quest for spiritual enlightenment. And I don't know, love for festivals. Maybe I don't know. I could have said nicer ones, but you know, that's a good start.
That's good. All right, 1 through 36. Pick a number.
Not 8 again. The new one. Okay, 19. Because I hate that number. It's a prime number.
Okay.
It just.
All my numbers are prime.
Oh.
It's weird.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Well, there you go.
9, 37.
The ones that are not. Yeah.
Variations of 3. 19. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, what would you change anything about the way you're living now, and why?
I can't decide between the having more like time to sleep and chill, or shutting the hell up when my parents are talking and just let them be right. Those are definitely two of the top things that are sort of
Sleeping and chilling.
Yeah. Chilling and just like letting other people boost their ego and deflating my own. Those, yeah.
So that's basically a manifestation on what Lilla's going to be getting after for the next year.
For sure. I would like that.
Yeah. If we're willing to admit that if I died in a year, this would be what I would regret, well, then it's probably a good thing to start fine-tuning that.
I definitely think those two things they're right up there equally.
I agree. So where can people find you? Unless you don't want to be found. I don't mean like location.
I'm a social media whore. You can find me everywhere.
Yeah, you pump out a lot of
random
posts. Yeah,
and with no order, no structure whatsoever.
I know. I always like the way that you did it. Yeah.
It's not just about myself. It's just my life. It's just so crazy.
So this means something to me.
Yeah.
Here's my Insta.
Yeah. So Lilla Billa 193. That's Lilla Billa 193 is Instagram. Lilla Tamas, Tamas, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I really don't fuck with. Snapchat, nah.
Yeah, I
suppose I'm not that big of a whore.
Yeah, it's hard to have a hand in too many different things. But I did make my first Twitter post today in a while. Would you like to know what it is? We'll close on my Twitter post.
Tweet. What?
It was that today a carpenter bee was following me. And I could tell that the execution of my kick was so on point by how bad I felt when I booted that motherfucker. Hashtag karma is real. Hashtag do the right thing. But it really was a good kick, though.
Was that under 120 something characters?
Yeah, and I think they just bumped it up to 214.
Oh, okay.
More recently.
You really express yourself now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put stupid shit on there, like things that I know other people would be like, "Look what Sam said," and be like, "Oh, he's an idiot." I'm just gonna do that on purpose, just flood them out
Provoke.
there. Because I'm writing comedy, so I wanna.
I would love to see that. You got to send me some updates.
I
Come
will.
to Barcelona. Maybe we'll book you a show.
I know. I need to come. I'll refine that.
Yeah.
Lilla Tamas.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for listening to my crazy.
For sure. Glad
Crazy
to
ass.
have you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll cut it there.
Yeah.